If you want to sit at the table, pull up a chair. Welcome to Let's Bring It to the Table, where we talk about how to enhance our lives by addressing issues that specifically impact our lives. Today, we have Alois on the panel. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Our topic today is we're changing it up because of something. And the topic today is Black people wake up. No matter what, we have to protect our own and stop with the excuses. I'm doing this because of the simple fact of something that I saw on TikTok. It kind of bothered me really, really bad. And I felt like because of the underlying story behind it, yes, we're going to focus on one part of it, but we're also going to focus on the part that family, friends, and other people of us, Black people, have to do with this. So I guess I'll start by playing the video. Then I'm gonna give my little educational statistics and everything after we discuss the video, because this is a topic that people do not understand. I don't think it's enough awareness. I feel like we're not protecting each other enough as Black men and Black women. And despite what you think or how you feel about somebody, they still your people. And other races do it all the time. They protect their own. No matter how they feel about that person, they protect their own. We have to do better in that part. We have to do better. We have to stop that stinking thinking. We just have to stop. So let me get the video so we can watch it, okay?
All right, y'all. We have to bring awareness to this. One of my friends for the last couple of days has been basically unreachable, and now we know why. She specifically asked me to share the story on TikTok because I have over 33,000 followers, and she thought that it would be beneficial. Because there are minors involved, I cannot say their names. But older women, we have to teach the newer generations of young girls how to do better. This is not a knock on anybody's parenting or how to be a family member, but we must ensure that they do better. So about a week ago, my friend's 15-year-old sister decided it was time to meet a boy that she had met on TikTok face to face. They had FaceTime and everything, so she knew she wasn't being catfished. The plan was that after the game that they were gonna go over his house and they were gonna kick it and chill. Well, her 15-year-old sister lived in Plano with their aunt. The little sister called the aunt to let her know this is where I am and this is what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be home by this time. His parents are gonna bring me home because that's what she was told. The little sister said that all she did was drink orange juice. I don't give a damn how old you are. Always pour your own drinks. And if you're 50 in somebody's house when no adults are present and you have no business accepting a drink from anybody, even if they are in your age group, especially if this is your first time meeting them. Now, after she drank this juice, she fell asleep. Like somebody did something to me kind of funny, but how long have I been out? She woke up, she was no longer in this boy's house. She was actually in an apartment. There was a girl in the room just typing on the laptop. She asked the girl where she was. The girl went and got another girl. They came in, they beat her up. They tried to lock her in the bathroom. Her motherfucking life, she got out of that apartment. She ran to a different apartment, banging on the door. She got to the main office of the apartments. The apartment complex immediately called the police and they came and got her. They took her to the hospital, took pictures and everything else. Now, we all watch enough Law and Order SVU to know that they're supposed to do a rape kit and they're supposed to question you about everything. She did tell the police and she was very cooperative. However, the detectives had to ask the nurse, why was there not a rape kit done prior to us coming out? The sister overheard the nurse snidely tell the detective or whatever that they don't do rape kits on prostitutes. This girl just got sex trafficked at 15 years old and taken out of her own fucking city and you call her a prostitute? Then the detectives proceeded to ask why the next of kin hasn't been contacted. The nurse walked away while saying that she had other patients. The detectives had to then call my friend who had to drive all the way to Houston to go and get her sister. As I told my friend, you can't be mad because you thought she ran away. Because that's what a lot of family and friends kept telling her, that she just ran away. She was 15. She was at that age. No, be more vigilant. Don't be mad. Young ladies, always tell somebody where you're going. Never turn your location off. And if you meet somebody for the first time, always have a friend with you. Don't accept food and drinks from strangers. If you're underage, always include your parents in some of these conversations. You got to be aware and stay fucking alert. All right, time to get serious, y'all. We have to bring awareness to this. One of my friends for the last couple of days has been
Okay. Alois, what you have to say?
Very upset. I'm very upset. I'm very mad, and I don't understand. This generation need to wake up, and take care of you. Especially that girl only 15 years old. She should be at home. 15 years old, know who she was with on a date on YouTube. Was she very? I'm very appalled. I'm very disappointed, and I'm very upset. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to do that. But our black people need to wake up, and we need to educate ourselves. We need to be, because that's what my kids, it would know you got to the front door. It would you never got to her, or however she got this person in contact with this guy. It would never been. You got to stay focused. You got to stay focused on them, because the internet, Instagram, not good. It is getting worse and worse, and we need to wake up as parents and be parents. While these kids in this world, you need to take care of your kids. You got to tell your kids, and let them see what you have come or what you overcome in your life. Show them. You want your kids to be better than you. You want them to be more better than you. You don't want them to go on the same road. So our black people, yes, we need to wake up. Now is the time to wake up before it's too late.
You're right. Because, my thing was, and, because her story is something that happens all the time. It's always some black woman or some black child. There's somewhere, either somebody sneak, and in this day and time, sometimes no matter how vigilant you are, because there was a young lady from Atlanta that this happened to, and she had her drink. She had everything. But people are capable of reaching over, slipping, doing these things no matter what, and getting to you. And she ended up in New York, and that I get. It should never happen, like you said, as parents. Well, her parents weren't in the picture. For her auntie and her sister, the only adults that, that she had to rely on. And then the main problem I had was I get the sister. I truly do. And she's angry about the situation her sister was put in. But my thing is, I would have cussed out every family member who had told me, oh, she at that age, she just ran away, as if to dismiss the fact that this child was missing and that it didn't even matter. It didn't even matter. I mean, but this girl was taken. The sister should have stuck with her gut instead of listening to her family member, because it's tried and true, and I don't give a damn. Come at me if you want to. I want all the smoke on this. When it comes about family, fuck family. I'm saying it. Fuck family. Family ain't what you think it is. If it's that blood, them relatives, that's all they are. They're relatives. If their true family don't do this to you, they don't think this way. This girl could have been dead. This girl could have been gone forever. Because they had her in another state. If you watch the video, what I just played, they had her in another state from where she was from. They co-host another 15-year-old into putting her in a situation. Who's to tell that he ain't being sex trafficking? When you have to look at everything from a broader perspective than what it is. Probably in the same position, because black people, this is stuff that we do all the time. We dismiss it and we always blame the kid. We always blame the kid. We don't never take ownership and responsibility. There are too many kids. I know kids. I've cussed out parents, mothers, and my dad had to pull me away because these mothers were allowing their boyfriends to sexualize their daughters, and they wanted to fight the daughter.
Yeah.
She's a kid, 12, 14. What the hell do they know about being sexualized? What do they know about that? They're just being kids, 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds. It's not just the girls, it's the boys too.
Yes.
It's everybody's game when it comes to this. And they don't even look at it that way. It's like, but my thing is too, whatever you do in the front of your kids,
It's gone.
that's what they end up learning. And by God, I pray that they understand that what mama or daddy or whoever they're around is supposed to be their parent is doing, that their eyes of understanding is enlightened, and these kids walk away from all of that when they get a chance. I don't care what nobody say. Family ain't family. In this situation, I just can't. It's an outrage. And you're right. I'm sorry. I just saw this. Somebody said truth. I'm not sure who this is. Will you please give your name? Because it's only saying Facebook user. And it says it's babies raising babies nowadays. And that's true too. But still, these babies who's raising babies, they got a mama. They got a daddy. Hopefully they got a mama and a daddy. And sometimes you have to understand that, you know, my life wasn't perfect. My life, it wasn't perfect. Like I always tell people, it's Byron, Beataholic. Yes, Beataholic, thank you. My life wasn't perfect. You know what I'm saying? My parents did the best they could. You know what I'm saying? It was times in my life when I was younger, I used to question it. But you know, God has direction for everybody in situations that they're in and the way things are. I wouldn't be the woman today. You know, that's why I'm always been transparent about who I am as a person and the things that I've been through, because I know for a fact nobody can stand in my shoes. They couldn't even tolerate the path that God put me on. They wouldn't have been able to overcome. I don't look like what I've been through. And I pray that young lady, for what she been through, that she don't never look like what she been through, because people never understand your story. It does not make sense that in this day and time, you got Black men talking about they're not going to protect Black women. You got Black women talking about Black men are nothing to them. We got to be something to each other. I'll die for mine. My brothers, I'll die for mine. And that's on everything. I die for my son. I will not tolerate, you know, these type of things being happening. My nieces and my nephews are everything to me. It ain't nowhere in the world we'll turn the United States of America upside down to find them. There is no way.
That's right.
I know my family. I know my brothers. Now that's my family. I know how they are. They're not going to sit back and knowing that they got a niece or a cousin or somebody out there that's in need in that way. If the family ain't trying to keep secret, because you know how we do as Black people, we ashamed of the things that happen. We have to put that on the down low. We're going to have to learn how to stop that. Eyes of understanding has to be enlightened. You have to understand to change your mindset and to change the way you think. Everything can't be a secret. It might save the next generation. They need to know. They need to know all these things. And you hiding and you covering your kids and them not knowing it and experience or understanding the world ain't gonna get them nowhere.
Nope.
Nowhere.
It's so true. That's why second divorce, and I had 2 girls. They were girls, and believe me, I had said I would never bring a man around my girls, because I'm raising my girls. I want them to be better than me. Myself. They tell you up to date now. They never saw me with a man, another problem, because I was not about that. I was about raising my kids so they can be respectful, so they can learn, like mentor in their life. Me and mentor, I trust, some encouragement and some wisdom. But other than me having, I refuse. So I have seen so much stuff that happened with kids, with single parents, both on both sides, the boys and the girls. I seen so much stuff that it was unbearable. The Lord just give me direction, discernment, and teach me how to raise his kids. I will raise. and they turn out good, and they know right from wrong.
They are
They
good.
can't say mama didn't tell them this, mama didn't tell them that. They know because they did not see how to bring them, men in their life. All they saw was mentors, my brother around them, and when they go to school, I guess, but you pray over your kids, and you got to pray over your kids every day, night and day. And then when they in that situation with even trying to date somebody, you want to know how to discern, how to see that right person, or if they don't even have to go or Instagram or date site trying to find a man. You don't need to do all of that. Stay focused. Stay focused on what you're doing. Stay focused on the higher, most high. Stay focused on him. He would talk to the man or whoever he wants you to become. You gotta stay focused. Open your eyes, because I'm telling you, men, all about one thing: getting in your panties.
And it's not just the men
One
too.
thing, yeah,
Saying it's not just the men. You got women out here doing
right.
the same crazy tail stuff to these girls and these boys.
Yes, that's it's so true. It's on both. It go both ways. Society, especially people on Instagram, YouTube, putting their business out there. Who watching you?
Yeah.
You think it's fun? You think it's a joke? It's not a joke. Not care about you. They care about themselves. So we need to wake up, especially coming up now. Wake up.
And you know what else, Alois, that gets me? And you know what, I have to say I admire the fact that you decided to take that route to put your life on who said not true? Somebody said not true. I want to know why you said not true, who you are, and explain why you say not true. I have to commend you as a mother, because a lot of women, especially when they're young mothers, they do not put their children first. I'm not going to say all of them. I'm going to say some of them, because I don't know what but the ones I've seen, they don't put their kids first. They got to have a man. They got to have somebody in their life. They just got to have. And they're not understanding the fact that you brought forth life. Whether the father decides to be in their life or not, you still got to take care of these lives, these little innocent kids. Yes, sometimes I commend those who have took the risk and end up finding a guy that, that wanted to stand up to the plate, because there's a lot of black men that do. They stand up to the plate. They become the men they need to be, and for their woman, and the fathers that they need to be for those kids. I commend that. But if you're in a situation where you don't feel safe as a mother, then I say go for it. Don't wait. You still got life ahead of you. If you wait till you in your 50s and you go for it after your kids are grown, then do that. But we have to be better thinkers than that. That's why a lot of times that we get it, we play into these, as some people call generational curses. Well, if it happened to me, it's all right. I came out okay. No, you wanted to stop with you. You don't want your kids this to happen with your kids. You want them to end up in a better environment than what you was in. So yes, I know fathers who put their lives on hold and the mother passed away or whatever, and they raised their kids. Sometimes, we have to learn how to sacrifice. Let's go back to your Christian Bibles. Didn't Jesus sacrifice his life for the greater good of America? I mean, for the United States, for the world, or whatever? Yeah, he did that. So what makes you even different that you can't even sacrifice just a moment in your time in order to raise your kids? If the father's not involved and you do the best that you can, you be open with your kids, not tell them not to question anything, and just be open and explain things to them, and so that they can understand why mama's not dating right now. I'm here to protect you. My life, or what I decide to do with me personally, is none of your concern. But what I got to do with you is all of my concern. And it just has to happen. I mean, for me, I'm very protective that way. It's a lot of things that have happened that I found out that happened. And I wish I could have changed the narrative, but I've been in
Right.
jail, but I would have changed that narrative, if you get what I'm saying. But
So true.
as Black people, our mindset on things with these young people, we're gonna have to change it. And just like the young people who wants to, I want to say it's the 2000 babies. It might be a little bit further back than that. That I'm hearing them saying that they blaming their mom, they calling their mom and daddy abusive. If your mama's going out there and she working 16-hour days, she working to make sure you got food, shelter, a house, your own bed, your own room, anything and everything that she's able to afford to get you. And I'm saying the dads too, because I've seen some of these households, it happens in there too. And they're here trying to afford everything for you to have. And all they ask you to do was clean up, keep your room clean, clean up the kitchen, take the chicken out the freezer. You hollering abuse. How the heck is that abuse when all they're asking you to do is to help out? Help them. They're working. They're providing. You want to take dance lessons? Let's get this money. You want to play football? Let's get this money. Anything you decide to do, these parents are doing. So flip that narrative if you want to. Yeah, there are some parents that use their kids as slaves, or making them do all of this, and they're not getting anything in return, because life is give and take. When you're teaching your kids, you got to teach them not to be selfish. You got to teach them that everything is give and take. These parents got to give an account, and these kids got to understand that life ain't what you think it is. You're going to get out and you're going to get on your own, and somebody's going to take advantage of you if you don't watch what you're doing. You're going to be in a worse situation than that 15-year-old. You will.
Yeah, I have to. Way this word going, this society going anyway. Pray. Sometimes we have to get on our hands and knees and pray. It's not just one day, every day. Wake up in the morning when you lay down in the morning. Pray for your kids. Pray for this generation. Because they can tell you one thing and do another.
And and you have to think about the slavery thing that's going on. The modern day slavery is sex trafficking. It's a part of it. Then you got human labor. They're taking people all across the world. National statistics for trafficking. It's an industry, and it's the second largest criminal enterprise in the United States. Do you know that within a year, almost 244,000 to 325 kids are at risk of being victimized in the United States? 1,000 of these kids are forced into sex slavery industries annually. The average age of these markets are between the ages of 12 to 14. When you sit up and you said, and these kids are endangered runaways, you sat up here and you said that these kids have ran away. 9 out of 10, I bet your bottom dollar, they didn't run away. Somebody took them. But you, being dumb as fuck because you don't know your child, you done said they ran away. Just like they said about that 15-year-old that told her auntie and her sister where she was going to be. Gave the location. The boy said his parents were going to be there and bring her home. But you didn't even take enough sense to even check that out yourself as a parent. Now, the other daughter, I'm gonna give her a walking paper because I know she's probably in her early 20s. Her friend is looking in her early 20s too. But at the same token, that auntie, shame on you for your thought process. Shame on you that you too busy to where you wasn't watching on her. Shame on you. I don't believe in excuses. Black people need to start owning up to their responsibilities as Black people and stop trying to blame and point the finger at other people. This is your fault that this happened because you weren't doing your due diligence. Do you know that even in Atlanta alone, that 200 to 400 girls are sold online per month? 65% of men who purchase sex with female children in Atlanta is in the suburbia area, outside the 285 perimeter. They said that these traffickers make on an average of $33,000 per week. 7,200 men purchase sex from minors every month in Georgia, according to accounting for 8,700 sex acts. 91% of the victims are enrolled in school at the time of this exploitation.
Mm-hmm.
Were enrolled in school. Who's been in school? Come on, y'all. Do y'all know that this is $1 trillion business? That these people making money around the world, Africa, America. And when I say Americas, I'm talking about North America, Central America, and South America, all in tow. You got Asia and I didn't even realize when I read all this that Canada was a part of this as well. But they said with the human trafficking, and like I said, when I'm giving all these names of these, it's not just sex trafficking. It is also labor, because you got people, especially in America, seeing the documentary where these rich white people in the northern parts on the East Coast, and like they said, it's happening a lot in California too. You go to Africa and you get these kids and you lying to the parents, telling them, oh, we're going to get them an education and they're going to get their visa and then they're going to become American citizens and whatever. And you got them parlayed up in somebody's house, either taking care of their kids or doing both and cleaning up their houses. And they are being abused and being raped. And they don't have any education because they locked away. And then the parents thinking their kids are doing good when they're not. And then all of a sudden, guess who gets missing? And nobody hears anything else about them. Nothing. I mean, you want to know a little bit more? And I'm just say about the United States. The report showed back in 2019, because I looked and I guess they haven't got the other updates up yet, but for 2019, this was reported in 2021. So they let you know the time frame and how long it takes for them to come up with what they want us to know. The top 5 states, California is number 1, Texas number 2, Florida is number 3, New York is number 4, and little old Ohio is number 5 for human trafficking. Now, the cities is another thing. And this is on the same case report. Washington, D.C. is number 1. Excuse me. Atlanta, Georgia is number 2. Orlando, Florida, not surprised on that one, is number 3. Miami, Florida is number 4. And Las Vegas, Nevada is number 5. It's broken down. And, and they do have penalties and everything on these statistics of what the law claimantly does to people on this. It's sad. Alois, what are your thoughts?
I'm just blown away, honey. And like I said, people don't care if they have attitude to kids. And it's sad. It really is. They need to keep a better information on their kids. Know what your kids are. Take time to talk to your kid. Let them know that what's right and what's wrong. It's not. No, there's something else. You can tell them one thing, like coming out the other ear, they're not listen. Open their eyes, because this word is not only chaos. Every day you hear something. Kids getting stabbed. Kids getting. I mean, it's really sad. So we as parents, we need to be more kids, knowing and keep eye and check on. You're not trying to overbear it, being honest with them, being true to them. Tell them right from wrong. This is the time to do chaos in the world, and people love chaos. But I'm not the one that I don't cover. It would tear you down.
Yeah, and you know what else? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would say other races, they love to see us at all with each other, not sticking up, not come together in unity.
You took the
We
words out of
have
my
to
mouth.
come together, come together and show and prove them wrong. We need to prove them wrong. We don't ain't gonna keep cracking. It's gonna keep going down and down. So we need to wake up. So please put your kid, put God first, put your family next, your kids. We need to do that as parents.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. I totally agree with 1,000% of what you just said. I do. I agree with that because, my thing is, and it comes back to what we say as women, especially Black women, when men are asking, what is it that we can do better? Give us a safe place. Just like men are saying the same thing. Give us a safe space to be ourselves with you. That's on a personal vibe. Well, guess what? It's not just with us. We have to give our kids a safe place where they can trust us, where they can be open with us and not be judged and cursed at and ridiculed because of their thought process or the things that they want to do. Try to learn and gain understanding. I do that with my son all the time. Whether in the inside of me is screaming, saying, oh, no, 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 I always ask him, explain. Before I even say anything, I never tell him no, or I don't think what I think. I always tell him, let's go with what's right, because what I think might not be what's right for him. So I have to get an understanding of what he needs or what he's trying to do in order for me to give him that safe space where he can be open up. Because when a child doesn't have a safe space with you, guess who you open him up to? Them dumb tail
That's
friends
right.
that they call their friends and they don't have a clue about life. And then
True.
they end up being a listening ear for them and getting them into things that you never would have thought your child would have got into. So you have to be a listening ear, not just always judging and trying to tell what your personal thoughts and what you think and all kind. Because them kids don't care about what you think the way you think they do. Because I don't. Because at the end of the day, all of us, it's at the end of the day, kids, women, men, at the end of the day, it's all about what we can get out you.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's not how we supposed to roll, though, yeah, it's a give and take. We're getting something out of it, but you got to make sure that it's right. It's right for us, not right for what you want, right for them. That's why these kids are getting took. I know in Memphis, Tennessee alone, there was a time, this was way before I had my son, that this man was walking around giving these kids, because he had money, white man, had money. And for him to molest these boys, he was giving them game boxes and stuff because they didn't have anything. They didn't know where we shouldn't take it. They just knew what they didn't have. And this man was able to have his way with them until he got up with the wrong kid. And then they end up catching him and everything. So you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful as a parent. You can't just get out of those god awful, and I say it all, these Christianity thinking ways of what you saying with the Bible. Not what I understand what God say, but I know what God says to me. I'm not looking at a King James dead man's Bible version in order to know what God says to me. I use it as a guideline, but it is not the law. God already stated his laws. No other God before him. He is the beginning and the end. And to love, that's all that matters. Everything else in between is not his laws. Go look at the 10 Commandments and understand them if you don't understand anything else. But to sit up here and try to beat a child down with Bible verses, you are not doing anything but getting them. Oh, as soon as I get out of here, I'm out. As soon as I get 18, I'm out. Getting out of here. You are setting yourself up for the disaster you're not looking for. Because some of these kids are woke and some of these kids understand that what you're doing is not the way that their soul and their spirit wants them to go. Hey, Toyana. Toyana says, It is extremely sad. We have to do more. We are in a time where people have stopped trying to reach these kids, and accountability is limited on both ends. We have to hold kids accountable to be their best selves, as well as taking blinders off as parents. Hold on. I couldn't read all of that on there. It wouldn't pull up. Okay, as parents, family members, and communities, etc. To what really is going on within society, and be upfront about existing and potential threats, even if it isn't happening to them. That's the key right there, because they always say it's not happening to me. Why am I bothered? We have to arm them with all that we have. These kids are subject more to deception than we were, and they need guidance. That's relevant to what is going on right now. You said a mouthful. I wish you had been able to get home to say what you just said, because you said a mouthful, sis, and I agree with you 10,000% on what you just said. I, on the other hand, have to understand the fact that these parents, as I said, they're not understanding the dangers that they're putting their kids in. They really don't. The statistics is showing this thing. And then, y'all, let me tell y'all this. Because I was just, and I really hate the fact that this racial root, and I have to talk about my own, because let me put it this way. I know my mind is running so fast. I have to put it this way because of the simple fact that if everybody else, if white people can take care of their own, Mexicans take care of their own, Chinese take care of their own, don't come for me because I'm taking care of my own. I have to do it in a way that I have to do it in order to reach the most productive people I can, in order to stop this sexualizing of our women and our boys. Because this is what is happening. And it's not just our women and girls and boys. They're trying to make it seem like it's just the Black women and the girls that are and we are sexualized. That's not a given. Black women have been sexualized since the end of time, before time began. Everybody always looked at us in a hypersexual way. This is just what it is in this society and here. So the facts are showing, and this is according to the FBI. Hear me when I say this. 57.5% of all juvenile prostitutes arrests are Black children. They didn't say just girls. This is Black children. Through a 2-year review of all suspect human trafficking incidents across this country, 40% sex trafficking victims were identified as Black women. During this Black trafficking, during this sex trafficking of Black women, traffickers admitted that they would traffic Black women because they believe they'll get less jail time than they would if they traffic white women if they got caught. Okay, let's talk about it. Really ain't nothing to talk about. They show you every day. Black man kills somebody, white man kills somebody. Black man get life, white man get 2 years. Black man go on a tangent and do a killing spree. White boy goes on a tangent, cross 2 states, kill 3 Black people. Or better yet, let's talk about the church. White man, let's put him in there. White man goes to the church and kill everybody in the church. He get Burger King. Black man gets life. They get free. One of them is free. He free. And he crossed 2 states to get where he had to go to kill people. I don't even know what happened to the other one, but he ain't getting life. We are always done dirty. And we are always looked at as nothing. As nothing. And when I say it that way, trust and believe our Black men does feel the same way, because we're not protected. I've listened at other social media platforms. They talk about the young girl in New York, and she was trying to stand her little grounds. You know, I felt like she could have walked away from that because this guy was bigger than her, and he was being very aggressive, and he targeted her because she talked about how he moved in front of her and she accidentally bumped into him and everything. And he was already, you know, he had already sourced out. And yeah, she might have said something that did not, because he was giving her feminine vibes because he's picking on a woman when he should have been, if he had a problem, you know, you deal with a man. He asked the man about, is this your girl? He said, no. He punched that girl in the face because of what she said. That's not protecting your black women. And then you got black men in there justifying, saying, well, she should have kept her mouth closed. What are we supposed to do? Tell me, anybody, what are we supposed to do when we're supposed to protect ourselves? When you seeing videos of black men, especially our black men, not all black men, but these particular black men, these weak ass black men, as I call them, groping, grinding on us, and doing the things that they do to us. And we supposed to just kiki and smile and be okay with it. But then y'all sexualize it and say it's because of what we wear. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. I've seen a couple of young ladies that was in videos that was fully clothed. They weren't wearing anything tight. They weren't wearing anything derogatory, and they still was sexualized. So make that shit make sense. We are always targeted, and it's getting worse and worse every day. We have to do better, and the black men do have to keep your black men in account. If you see one doing wrong, and then, you know, and I understand it. I understand, y'all. I understand it. You know, sometimes you don't want to get involved because you feel like she was in the wrong. But how about setting that brother straight? Get the situation calmed down and saying, man, you know, you see how she is. Don't do that. Don't make it more than what it is. Try to help digress the situation. But to sit up there and literally and just videotape and let somebody do something. There was a videotape of a black woman being taken. Nobody did nothing. They just watched and videotaped. But if I guarantee you, just like that black man punched that white woman at the airport, black and white jumped involved. But if it had been a black woman, they wouldn't have did it. It's always a different standard when it comes to people. The strongest the strongest woman on this planet is a black woman. And we are the worst looked on by black people, by Asian people, by Indian people, by all types of people. And we deserve to be protected too. Yeah, we're strong. We don't have a choice. We have to be. You know what I'm saying? You fight. And you don't let anything, and you keep moving until you are able to get into a surrounding of the right type of people, and you call that your world, and stay outside of the world. That's all you got to do. But at the same time, you know, I see it all the time, and it just irks me. It irks me to a extent. I have to commend when we stand up to protect somebody else, especially with black women. When you see a situation, I see more black women standing up protecting the white women than I see them standing up to protect the black woman. We black women have to be held accountable for our stupidity too. If you see the same situation and it's with a black woman, protect her too. You know, we got to turn this narrative around of how we see each other and how we do things, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense on how we grasp this world the way that we do and how we look at each other. I could never walk down the street and see another black woman in aid and walk away as if nothing happened. I couldn't. But we do it every day. People do it every day. And these kids are no exception. They are no exception to this rule that's going on. Stop looking at it for what you think you see, because it's not that. Stop thinking about how you was raised and how our world changed. Only thing that stays the same is God's word. That's the only thing that stays the same. but we are always evolving. We have to understand things and not say, well, when I was back in my day, this. Nobody give a damn about what happened back in your day or what happened or whatever and how you were raised. Figure out how you can change the envelope in order to raise these kids to where they don't get sex trafficked, where they don't get molested, where they don't get hurt. You have to. A child should never have to, when they go to their parent, and they're telling them something that happened, whether it's at home, at school, or whatever. Figure it out. I do understand kids lie. I do understand kids do whatever, but they wouldn't be this way. It's all about how you bring them up, and you have to open them up to things. You have to understand these things in order to change the narrative within that child. I hope that's making sense. I really, really do. I hope it's making sense. Some people don't see it that way. When you look at these statistics of these things that's going on and the way the social economics, they said that they target the kids in poverty, the girls in poverty. This is the lower social economic status of women and girls. You know, and they said these people become victims because of unemployment, debt, and needing to provide for themselves and their kids. So they get in these certain situations that end up getting them sexually or physically abused. What are we to do about that? How can we change that narrative? And then I was kind of shocked to hear that 36.9% were trafficked by their own partner, somebody they got with. You even have women who are forced into marriages just so somebody can get a visa. Don't count that out. I'm looking at it. The violence is real, and we have to do better in this. Pennsylvania, 22% of arrests are for purchasing sex, but only 78 of the prostitution arrests are for selling sex. The numbers are unbalanced. You'll get the prostitute, but you ain't arresting only 22% of the rest of the ones who purchasing sex. Really? And they said, and understand this was conducted in 2012. It shows that 85% of those who bought sex on the internet were white men. And they were looking at Black women. Children in welfare, sexualized. Black children, 23,000 aged out and out of the system and become homeless instantly at the age of 18. That's 20%. 86% are likely to be in sex trafficking. Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. 86 of them are likely sex trafficking victims were in the care of social services when they were missing. My bad, I read that wrong. That was in 2016 report by NCMEC. It's an injustice and an inequality that's going on when it comes to us. There's no stability. There is a disconnect. And all of this running back and forth, hollering about what a man did or what a woman did and all of that is we can't. Toyana also said we are limiting our abilities to change the narrative because of how we are portrayed in media. Exactly. Which further translates to how some of us think we are supposed to be. Amen. She also said there is an inconsistency in how we present and carry ourselves. We can't fight on reality shows as six-figure earners with million watching and then expect people to take us seriously. We have to show respect for ourselves at all times and on all platforms because it impacts how people look at our race as a whole. And that is true. Because when you look at all of these, and I was on the phone with some, I think that was y'all, wasn't I on the phone with Alois? And I was talking about this and where they were saying this guy said that he was talking to this other guy, and this was on another social media platform. and this Indian was saying that he dated the black women to sow his oats, and the black guy was like, well, when he found out, he went home and married an Indian girl, and he was like, dude, why? He said, because they're not worthy of being married. Black women are not worthy of being married. You know, it's because of the narrative that they give. Anybody that's coming over here to try to become a citizen is always told, and a lot of people can tell you this is a true fact. Even the Africans know it's being told to them as well. Don't mess with the Black Americans. Don't mess with them. We are seen as evil. Everything, the narrative that they give when these people are coming over here, they're telling them not to fool with us. Huh. Really? We the same shade as you, bruh. But you're not supposed to fool with us. You do have some that don't believe the hype, but then you got those weak-minded ones that do. And as Toyana said, we have to change this narrative. You know, we don't supposed to get on acting the fool the way that these women do on these shows. But guess what? They're doing it for their money. They don't care about the reputation that it brings to all other women. They don't. They all about what they can get out of it because money talk. And they're going to let that bullshit walk the way that it needs to walk in order to make us look bad. And that is true. They got a new show coming out. I think it's in South Carolina. The Thoughts of North Carolina. Really? Not thoughts, side piece. I'm sorry. They are thoughts as far as I'm concerned. But them side pieces, they want a voice now. They want people to know that they're a side piece, like side piece or something, but they got songs about side pieces too. Praising the side piece. Really? Come on, people. When are we gonna do better? When are we gonna do better? I've seen some of the cast members, they Black, but still. Why would you? Because it's about the money. You selling out for the money? Seriously? I hope it's worth it. You look at Cardi B. I like her songs. She got one. I call that my anthem. But she don't act that way in front of her kid. Even though she be on there doing her little twerking or whatever on her little social media platforms or whatever, she don't do it in front of her kid. But guess what, sweetie? I hate to tell you, one day your kid gonna get on social media and they gonna see it. You can't hide them all the time. Anything that's done in dark, like I tell my child, it will come to light sooner or later. It's all about what you put out there. It's all right to be the woman that you call yourself to be. And I say be the best. If this is but please leave the rest of us out of it. Leave the rest of us out of it. We got our own wars to figure out and to fight. How about everybody joining on the same bandwagon and fighting to stop all of this where they taking our kids and nothing's being done? Let's get on that. Stop letting them take our kids and doing the things. Let them stop taking our men and women and selling body parts. Let's try to do something about that. Let's get a hold on it and stop letting them tell us, well, we got to wait 48 hours. 48 hours, 24 hours, they dead. They're dead. They're gone. Let's stop that. People don't understand that if you wake up and stand for something, I've always been told that. Stand for something worth dying for. I think our people is that. We have to learn how to get back together the way we used to be and do something about what's going on to protect our own. Because trust me, if they get their way and they start doing the separation, it's going to work out for our good. Don't get mad. Don't complain. Let them do what they do best. So we can come back together and get rid of the fools that don't want to do right. That's the one thing we got to do. We got to cut them off at the head. The ones that don't want to do right, the ones that want to keep running back to them, telling them everything we do, got to get rid of them. And we become a close-knit community and thrive. It can be done. But every time you see it try to be done, it's always that weak link. You got to kill the weak link. You got to get rid of it. That's causing the commotion and the ruckus within the village, and the village can't prosper. And it ends up being destroyed. Come on now, y'all. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Alois, give us your 2 cents.
Us women, let tell your kids that they are their child, the Most High. They're beautiful. They love. They gifted. They chosen. They're talented. They turn. Their love for God's word. Their compassion, boldness, gentleness, kindness, meekness, self. So parents, take these what I have just said. Tell them to your kid. Love them, cause that's what can. If you tell them every day you love them, and they will turn this one thing. He said, love, unity go a long way. Thank you.
Okay, and my thing, as I said before, and I'll say it again, as parents, aunties, cousins, friends, we got to do better. It doesn't make sense as us as a Black people that we hurt each other more than anything, and we always blaming somebody else. It's time out for these excuses. Either you're gonna do right by everybody, or you're not gonna do right at all. If you be the best at whatever it is you want to be. If you are out here sex trafficking our babies and you're a Black man and a Black woman, shame on you, and may God have mercy on your soul. But what you're going to reap what you sow. You're going to reap what you sow. And we got to stop turning a blind eye to this that's going on. The young women have an opportunity to might make it out of that. But our Black boys, 9 out of 10, they never do. They never do. And if they do, they blessed to come out of it. We got to do better in this situation. Now you got more Black parents kicking kids out at the age 18. Why?
Mm-hmm.
When you know that the apartments are almost $2,000 for a 1-bedroom. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to live? Why are you doing this? You're putting them, you setting them up for failure. Yes, they could get about 4 or 5 of them. It's going to be about 20 of them. Because of the little jobs they got making $7 an hour, it's going to take 20 to be able to have a nice 2-bedroom place. And everybody going to be piled up on each other. What are we going to do better about getting these kids to listen and getting them to understand? Yeah, it's been many times I wanted to put my son out. Yeah, because he's hard-headed sometimes. But guess what? I'm stubborn too. I know. I can say that as a parent. But guess what? I take a deep breath and I get over it, and I go in there and I fight some more because I'm fighting for his life. And it's not as bad as it used to be because he's listening. He understands that I love him above everything and that he listens to me and he takes what I say. Whether he do it or not, that's on him, but he listens. He comes back and he can tell, well, Mom, remember you told me what, well, this happened and I understand. Now I understand what you said. We got to do a better job, y'all. Give your child a safe place where they can talk to you. You know, I'd rather be a nagging bitch if that's how a Black man see me. But if I see that there's a way that I can make you better, whether you're a man or my son or the men in my life, my brothers, and yeah, I know my oldest brother, boy, I bet you he's sick of me. But if I know I'm helping you, I'm your biggest cheerleader, that's what I'm going to do. You have to be that. We got to get back connected. I can't say this enough. We got to get connected and protect our own. Alois's daughters, I love them to pieces. Her boys, I love them to pieces. No. Let her tell me one of them missing and see how I do. See how I do. But they ain't going nowhere. They ain't crazy. Her mama got them on lock, so it don't matter. I, on the other hand, I'm still that auntie and I'm going to be right there. We got to do a better job. We got to love on them. And even if your kid don't feel like they can have a safe place with you, at least let them have a safe place with an auntie, a cousin, the fun auntie as they think. Let them have a safe place with them. And then you got to repair that bridge with your child. You got to do that. Don't let them be a statistic like this 15-year-old. But thank God she got the system. They never said if she was raped. I pray to God she wasn't. But that nurse, you gonna get yours too, because you look down on her as a prostitute. This girl was kidnapped, and I don't even understand how the cops just let you get away with that, and you didn't even try to call nobody or anything because 9 out of 10 you burnt out, you're tired, you need a vacation, a month away from what you do. So you can get back to what you went in for and be the compassionate person you're supposed to be. This ain't just a check. These people lives you playing with.
Yes.
How dare you? And people don't even look at all of that. I can dissect the whole clip that I just showed and tell you where everything is wrong in that. Not a judge, and I'm telling you what's wrong. The family was wrong for telling the sister when the sister was crying out, talking about her sister missing, that she missing, something ain't right. And y'all hollering about, she at that age, she just gone, she done ran off. She ain't run off. She was drugged, sent to another state. We got to do better. When are we going to do better? Tell me that. I know I got my ends. Do you have yours? And at the end of the day, as I always said, we're going to be back next week and we're going to be talking about something else, dealing with, because everybody, it seems like everybody wants to talk about it. So we're going to talk about us again, Black men and Black women. So if you want to get on the panel and you want to talk, come on. Black men, I keep telling y'all, stop being scared. Stop being scared. Bring your bank on here, which is your mouth, and let's talk about the situations of how we can change the narrative of how Black men looking at Black women and how Black women need to stop looking at Black men. And I'm going to say this part. Whoever hurt you, whether you're a man or a woman, stop looking at everybody else as if they the one that did it, because they ain't do shit. Keep that over there, that blame where it belonged to that asshole you was with, whether it's a man or a woman. Keep it over there with them, because that's where it belongs. And whoever else, and heal from that. And then whoever else you getting with, stop looking at them through the same lenses, because they ain't the one. They might be the one for you, and you about to mess it up. So come on now. We got to do better. We at this table. Because when we're at the table and when respect is no longer being served, what do? We leave. And with that being said, make sure you're loving yourself enough for that, to leave the table when respect is no longer being served. Love yourself enough. But hear it out. Okay? We got to do better. So next week, Wednesday, we're going to talk about it. Since this is what y'all want, I'm going to give it to you from Sonia's perspective. So next week, 7 o'clock. See y'all. Have a good one. Goodbye.